continuing on with the exercises to break through the veil. And here are some things that I found helped me and has helped others as well, who's been really struggling maybe for a long time. And this is the most difficult thing for me that I can do. It is breathing out while thinking about breathing in. And doing that, I think out loudly in my head that I'm breathing out while I'm breathing in. And it makes me focus so hard. I don't know if the age thing, that when I think of doing something and do something else, I really have to put all my focus in there. And that takes work, so that connects you until you can relax and do that at the same time. It creates an opening there. And something when I work, since I had horses and cattle, sometimes when an animal, especially when they are bigger, you are out in a big field and there are no fences and you have to work with them, and if they get spooked for something, then I press them with my finger somewhere else so they turn their head and forget what they were scared of. And that works very well in these kind of exercises as well. If you think of the old saying that if you should rub your belly with a round motion like this and tap with the other hand like this, and then you keep, and somebody should tell you switch to right and left arm, and you keep on doing it, that creates the same kind of thing in your brain. And it is just as a practice that helps you to enter in. And it takes just a few minutes. And something that I'm very good at, especially in cold climate, is to, I imagine or I feel like I have the sun within my stomach, at the solar plexus, and I feel it really flaming and turning and twisting when I'm really freezing, and then I can feel the heat going up through my veins, so I start to nearly sweat. And that is a good energetic practice. And then there's also this training: hold a palm like this over a candle flame. Don't burn it off, but think it cold. Think that your hand gets colder and colder and it feels ice. But don't harm yourself. But you can, with your brain is quite strong there, so you can, if you focus on that your hand is ice cold, and so on. So it's a practice. And then there's my favorite: focus on a single distance sound and shut out all noise close to you. And this could be like listening to a bird or a neighbor's TV 2 floors below you or something like that. And there is a lot of noise in your room, but you focus on just listening into that one particular thing. And that is a very good exercise as well. And it's very useful, especially when somebody, if you're in a mall or something and somebody is disturbed and you feel something is off with them energetically, and they might ask you for help and there is a lot of noise around. Since you can focus in on their energy straight away, so you are more able to hear what they have to say or what they are saying that they don't have words for, if that makes sense. So that single focus, that you tune in on one person, even if there are 300 screaming and running around you. And then there's this thing, if you have easily, can go to sleep easily. I always struggle with that. If I wake up during the night, I can't ever fall asleep again. So that's one of my things. But otherwise, every time you start drifting up, focus your mind and keep on going back and forth with those. And change your routine. Set alarms in the middle of the night or in the day or whenever you sleep. And that makes it... there is something with that you work with different planetary hours, different things, and you change things up, and you might notice that the magic and everything feels different, just like the seasons brings in different angels in the old grimoires. So sometimes I do things in the afternoon, sometimes in the morning and so on, so I keep myself alert all the time. And when I breathe out a sphere, I think of the planetary colors or metals, like breathing out gold, copper, iron, or the colors blue, red, green, and so on. So I fill up a sphere with a planetary energy, and I don't have any candle or incense for this kind of thing. This is meant to be that you are creating everything from yourself. And then I feel the planets as well, that I can feel that it's moist and hot, and combine them and so on if I'm working with 2 planets and so on. So I can feel, and this is where the exercise that have one foot in water, another one it feels hot. So I try to feel one thing with my one half of my body and the other thing with my other half of the body, and then I breathe it out as well, and then I try to smell the planets or forest if you're doing elemental or flowers or something, and I do that from memory. And I used to do it by sniffing aroma, not sniffing, that was the wrong word, but just opening the cup and taking a whiff, and just trying to remember it, and then remember it by memory, not even buying the aroma oil if I didn't like the smell, and so on. And no incense work for this, since you are basing it on all your own senses and memories. Incense for ritual, but when you practice all these things, it's so good to create everything out of memory on the astral or the planes, so that you can really get it going there. And practice all sense memories often. And like everything else, you are going to facing the shadow and work with that. And acceptance, compassion, forgiveness. And learn to control your emotions and senses. And I always shift from... I start with what they fear and where they can feel relaxed and harmful in, since those are strong emotions, so you learn to shift the emotions that way. Whatever causes strong emotions in you, use that. And then you start using your memories to your advantage in magic, and or if you're doing healing work. So everything bad that happens to you can be used in healing to help others. Even if I'm not a healer in that sense, but you can heal with combining your soul to the pain they have, since you experienced yourself, if that makes sense. And don't practice in your bedroom or bed. I like falling backwards into the dark velvet or the dark space very well, but unless you feel ready, don't do that in your bedroom. Do it in your chair or outside or on the floor or something, or on the ground. And I always suggest this. This is a pet view of mine. Create a sacred ritual. That you don't have to mind me. That is just that I love the angels so much, so I'm always talking about them. So that is not to influence you. That is just my heart speaking. And learn to trust and accept. Whatever happens, that you are stuck in the underworld sometimes and you can't get out, and you just accept it, and there is always an entrance out. And follow through and close all work behind you. Never stop a ritual midterm and do other things, since sometimes it's very rare, but sometimes things can come true that are not meant to be. And get out of your comfort zone, only way to grow and learn. And then I wrote this left and right motoric training, and this is also a good thing. If somebody tells you to stand on your, or left and right leg or raise up your left or right arm, and you try to do it the other way around. So when they say right, you take left and so on, and mixing that up, that also gives you excellent training to this breathing out and breathing in and entering into the astral. So this was just some more ideas how to kick it up so you can use your senses in a crowded mall or wherever you are. And once you learn some of this, you don't need a ritual. You can turn it on within a minute and enter in and out with practice. So that's why I'm talking about this, so you can have magic on the go without any meditation beforehand and learn to trust that. So if you have 1 minute over in a day, then you have 1 minute, but you can do a lot with that minute if you just put your practice in beforehand and then you're ready to go. Have a magical day. Bye for now.